This week's parasha begins Ele Pikudei Hamishkan Mishkan Ha'edesh Pukad Al Pi Moshe Avodas Halavim, and the Torah continues. The first part of the parasha tells us about all the gold and the silver that was received by Moshe and how he used it and what he did with it, and exactly down to the exact weight and exactly how much he got and what he did with it. Even Moshe Rabbeinu, the leader of Klal Yisrael, had to be transparent in his accounting and what he did with everything that Klal Yisrael gave him to build the Mishkan. Moshe Feinstein in Darash Moshe says that this is a lesson for every single Jew, every single Yid, wherever he may be in any moment. A person always has to be transparent with himself. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us, every one of us, koiches. He gave every one of us talents and the possibilities and strengths to be able to serve Him properly. Have we used our strengths, have we used our talents to serve Him in the way we can? Or do we have some leftover, like the Torah tells us, with a little bit of the leftover? There was nothing left over, a little bit of the leftover silver. He made vovim, he made something else. There was always something to do with what's left over. Do we have anything left over? Do we have maybe some time left over, some energy left over to be able to serve Hashem even more than we're doing until now? We all know, there's no secret, the world has changed drastically in the last week. Just in one short week, we can see how Kadosh Baruch Hu turns over the entire world. We know that whenever something happens anywhere in the world, Chazal tells us it's only sending a message to Klal Yisrael. And Kal V'chomer, or even more so, when we see how the events of the last week are affecting Yidden directly. We know there's thousands of Yidden in Ukraine who are suffering because of it. Yidden in Russia are also suffering, obviously not in the same way. The businesses are collapsing, the economy is collapsing. People all over the world are affected by this tragedy that's happening, and every person knows somebody who's directly in the line of fire, who's directly being affected by this events that have been happening in the last week. Everybody is doing what they can. Klal Yisrael is tremendous in their strengths, and everybody is rallying. People who have the means to be able to help financially, helping financially. People who are on the scene, who are able to get Yidden out to safe places, are doing so. But the truth is that every person has what to add. Every person can do something to be able to help the situation. We know that whenever things happen, whenever things get shaken up, we start seeing Ramazim. It's the times of Mashiach, Melchomah Gog and Magog. I remember 2 years ago when COVID started and people started saying, oh, if the shuls are being closed, everybody has to go home. It's for sure Mashiach's time. And there was even a certain euphoria and a certain calmness. Oh, if it's Mashiach, so then everything is fine. And I remember speaking to somebody about it, and a certain Talmud Chacham said, if Chas v'Shalom it's not Mashiach, then the message is that everybody has to do tshuva. We're not Nevi'im, we don't know exactly what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants from us, but He wants us to be better. And if it is Mashiach, then for sure we have to do tshuva. How can we greet Mashiach in this present state that we're in? Everybody knows that we have something to be able to better ourselves in, and this is the time, if not now, this is the perfect time. Everybody has to make an accounting, every person. It behooves us to be able to take an accounting and say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us life, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us talents, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us the means. Are we using it properly? Are we doing it properly? Are we doing everything we can? And perhaps this will be a schus for everything that's going on in the world, for the Yidden Befrat and for the world Bechlal, to be able that we should, Mitzvah Hashem, see better and calmer times. It's also Shabbos Chazak. We should always remember that even in times of tragic circumstances, even in times of upheavals, but we know at the end of the parasha is Chazak v'nis Chazek, and we should talk about Zeicha that this Shabbos should bring Chizuk, the Chodesh Adar, the new month that we're coming into, Chodesh Adar Beis with Purim, and the Geula of Purim should bring to Besuras Taives for everybody, especially for those directly in the line of fire, for those Yidden who need HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Rachmei Shemayim so much. Hashem should help them and save them and keep them safe and healthy. Good Shabbos, Chazak v'nis Chazek, and a good Chodesh.